Sorry. Yeah. So, anyways, I'll let her tell you all about her, but I want you guys to know that she's going ambassador this month. And so that's amazing. And they're literally on freaking fire. So, if you have numbers to share too, I love like how much BB you guys went up. I love hearing that stuff. But just share with us who you are. I love all that debt that you just paid off. Just share all the goods with us, why you started this business, who you were before, everything like that. And then I'll take it with questions.
No, that's awesome, awesome. So, hi everybody. I'm so happy to be here. I have been in for 5 years. I joined in March 2015, and so if you haven't heard any of my story, some of it may kind of be unusual. I went to really fancy schools, just to lay it out the line. I went to Harvard. I went to Georgetown Law School. I was a lawyer for a decade in healthcare, and then I switched over into the corporate world of healthcare, and was very much like, and I was always the perfect student in school and did everything right. I'm heavily green as well as red. So like everything had to line up, and I was going to get that American dream. And, I didn't grow up with a silver spoon. My parents were both teachers. So I've always had a really good work ethic, but I definitely thought I was going to do like corporate world. And so, I kind of did that, obviously. And when I was in my early 30s, I'm 43 now, but when I was in my early 30s, my husband at the time had started a business, and he went from having like a really good salary position to starting this business. And we thought it was going to, like, save the world and be amazing. And so we really had built up, this fancy lifestyle. Before that, big house, country club, nice cars. I had to go through IVF for my son as well, and we just had that standard of our lives that we thought we were owed at that time. We learned, we were humbled out of that, but the business failed, and so all of a sudden we went from having two incomes because he had been salaried and had a good job, to not having his income, the business failing, and having to even pull from my income over the years to support the business. So by the time that I found this business, I was 38 years old, and we've been doing that for years. And to this day, don't ask me why we hid that, why we didn't, make a change earlier, but we were just really embarrassed and didn't want to admit the failure. My ex-husband didn't want to admit the failure, and so we just covered it up and like got credit cards way high and didn't really even change our lifestyle a lot. So it was a hot mess of bad decisions and bad luck. And we were in multiple six figures of debt by the time I joined. Okay. So first things first, none of my friends and family knew this. And if you look on me on Facebook, you would have never guessed. So you would have never approached, you would have most people would have been intimidated to approach someone with my profile, my bullet lines, my bio about the business. I'll just tell you straight up, and my enroller didn't approach me either. I approached her, that you can never assume where people are, because so many people are living in debt like crazy. And I know I felt a lot of pressure to keep up with the Joneses and all of that. So, oh, and I'm sorry, I didn't even say where I was from, Christy, but until like 5 minutes ago, I lived in the Portland, Maine area. So anyway, I was just miserable because I was like, okay, I worked my butt off at school and in my career. I was working 50 hours a week and had a baby, and just never had a minute to myself, was always tired. But in the meantime, we were financially like just broken. And also, my marriage was broken. So I really had kind of started to lose hope for probably a couple of years, honestly, you guys, up until I joined the business. So why did I join, or how did I join? I saw a girlfriend of mine, very classic story, saw a girlfriend of mine start posting about a year before I joined. She lived like 5 minutes down the road, had been in my wedding. And at first I made fun of her and all that good normal stuff, and then tried the greens and all that. But ultimately she hit double diamond in March 2015 and earned a $30,000 bonus that was available for double diamond then. And literally the minute I saw that post, I like texted her. I'm like, I was at my office. I remember texting her. I'm like, oh, what are you doing? Like, I need to hear about that. So I joined on the spot. If you know my personality, all that's, I'm a researcher. I'm very analytical. None of that's normal, but I joined on the spot and just really had an instinct that it was the right thing to do. And that's not just like, I'm not just saying that to be cheesy. Like I really had that instinct, and thank goodness I followed it. Because normally that is not how I roll. I'm very cautious. So I jumped in and I had none of the profiles right. So I know some people on here might be really new. So I want you guys to hear kind of where I was at. First of all, I was never on social media before this business. So I had no profile on, like, I wasn't even on Instagram, and I still barely am, but like Facebook, I maybe posted like twice a year. I didn't even know how to use it really. I was 38, so I wasn't, super old for normal people, but probably a little older than most people that join the business. Um, what else? I didn't have a great network, only because I was so isolated at that time. I had for about a decade just honestly gone to work and been with my family, my husband and my baby, and we didn't have a lot of money for extras, so I didn't have like this big expansive network. I hadn't tried any of the products. So I had all of, other than the greens, for like literally I tried the greens like 3 times. So a lot of the, the boxes that you would think would mean that somebody moves really fast, you would think that I didn't check a single one. Oh, and I was very insecure. I should add that. I was also super insecure. I was 30 pounds heavier. And I'd never done anything like this. I'm actually not a natural public speaker. I've gotten comfortable with it the last couple of years as I've been thrown into some of this stuff, but like, it's not my natural way. So all of that is saying, no way would I be successful, but within 4 weeks I hit Ruby, and within 4 months I hit Diamond and a $10,000 bonus. And if you ask me why, first of all, and Christy, I think you would probably say the same thing about some of your runs early on. I can analyze the more recent runs, but guys, I was so desperate. And then I literally took the charts out. I'm a red green. I took the charts out and I just started filling out the charts. All I knew was at the end of this chart was money. At the end of signing a distributor and helping coach them and get them started was fast starts. And I needed those fast starts, then $100, now 150. I needed them so bad. Once I really understood, like, that's $100. And I just honestly, on my second or third day, I pulled out the comp plan and read it. My enroller was not very detail oriented. And, again, everybody's different. We operate in different ways, whether you're new or not new. But for me, once I had that roadmap, I didn't know what else to do other than to fill the boxes. And so I knew that it was the middle of boom season that year. I knew that the diamond bonus from, my uplines was not going to be there forever. And so I just worked as hard as I could, as fast as I could, to get to diamond, to get that bonus, because I knew what it would do. And I knew what the $2,000 a month of diamond would do. So did that in 4 months. I still cannot tell you guys how I did it. I just talked to people. One Camby went to sleep. It was mostly after Camby went to sleep. I didn't obviously I was working during the day. I couldn't mess with my corporate job. So that was kind of it. Maybe got a little bit less sleep, but it wasn't even that crazy. It was just like 2 hours maybe after he went to sleep at 8. So from there, that kind of like that diamond bonus. I'm sorry if I'm going long, Chrissy.
No. I love it. I love it.
So after that diamond bonus, I took literally a pause and I was like, okay, what just happened? Did end up going double at 12 months, but largely stayed at a strong diamond level. I've always been, good at getting fast starts and excited about fast starts. So, for about 2.5 years, really my vision for the business was not bigger than a side income. And, now I don't regret a minute of that, because that was where I was at. And one of the things about my story is that's really interesting is that you can evolve your vision quite a bit if you stick with the company. And that's what happened to me. So I really saw the side income, $2,000, $3,000 a month on average. I never made less than 2,000 since August 2015. And that helped me get out of debt, helped me, get through all sorts of the messy situations that we were in. And then finally I got divorced in 2017, and just had literally the day after um, the divorce went final, like had this amazing, just feeling of clarity, and all this toxicity had gone away literally overnight. It was just something that I can't really even put in words. But I had this moment. I'm like, okay, well, what am I going to do with my life? And I just was honestly on the fence for the first time. Like, okay, I'm a single mom now. I did become a full-time single mom, as well as obviously working my normal job. And I said, what am I going to do with this business? And literally 4 days later, Mary Beth Dodd um, came to Portland, Maine for the first ever Maine event. And there's just something, she became my upline in that moment. She really poured into me. If you have any opportunity to spend time with Mary Beth, she's just an amazing inspirational giver. And she said to me, you have so much more within you. And I realized that as a single mom, this was a really awesome opportunity to be able to spend a lot more time with Canby and um, make a lot more money. So that was September 2017, you guys. I started running full-time job, single mom to then a 3-year-old, and within 6 months hit triple diamond, 6 figures, obviously. Within 3 months of that, I retired from corporate life, which I never had a vision. Literally, even when I hit triple, my vision wasn't necessarily to retire. But within 3 months of triple, I was like, I have passed my corporate salary. This is crazy. Like, there's so many people coming in. And so I retired from corporate life at age 41. 3 months after that, I went presidential, just so much momentum that year. And then, guys, I was in my 4th year. So I want you to hear that. It did not happen overnight in my 4th year, and in that, or 3rd and a half, 4th year, whatever. And then I went from literally never in the top 150 my first 3 years to number 76 that year. In fact, in 2018, when they did the 6-month report, I was not in the top 150 at all. By the end of 2018, I was number 76. So just understand what you can do when you decide, when you have the momentum. And then finally, obviously last year was just even bigger, crazier. We climbed to top number 34. And then this year, 2020, obviously getting ambassador is huge, but my biggest thing, and Christy and I are very aligned in this, is really about how much money can I make for my family, and how can I use that money purposefully. And so really, guys, all of this is just a huge, like, 5-year development. But what I decided about a year and a half ago is I really wanted to move to Florida. I wanted to split time between Maine, where most of my team has historically been, and my ex-husband is to see my son, and Florida, where I grew up. And so literally 4 weeks ago, I finally made that happen, and sold my house up in Maine. And in a single day, when I sold my house, oh, I didn't even mention this. So my house, when I joined, was 9 months past due, 9 months past due, almost full blown foreclosure. When I sold my house last month, I pulled out so much equity that I turned around and paid $89,000 and change in debt out of the equity. And just unbelievable amount, single day paying almost $90,000 in debt from a house that was 9 months in foreclosure when I started. So just now I'm just trying to figure out what to do when I'm 43. No, I'm just kidding. I know what I want to do, but you always have to dream bigger, and you have to be open to the vision. And a lot of what changed things for me is that I'm obsessed with events. And so I can talk about that too. But events are what consistently, I always got myself to events. And that really started planting seeds so that I could reach even higher potentials that I didn't even know I had in me. So I'll stop there, Christy. I'm sure I forgot lots, but that was long.
No, I love it. Cause you know what? The thing is like, you guys, and I know one of my girls just asked a couple little questions, and I'll ask one of them. But I really want you guys to listen to what she's saying. Okay. Listen to what she's saying. She had trials. She did it anyways. She didn't feel like it. She did it anyways. She was going through a divorce. She did it anyways. You can ask how, and maybe she has a reason for that, but you guys, you just do it. Like, at the end of the day, you just do it. There's not a magic thing that I could say or that she could say that could be like, oh, now I feel like it. Now I feel like I can do it. Like there's not one magic thing, but I will ask you this. And if you guys do have questions for her, because I have some, but put it in the chat. So, you know, one of my girls asked, how did you find motivation to rise above all your trials? What kept you going? You know, she's basically just asking, when you didn't have instant success, why the heck did you keep going? When you had trials in your life, why the heck did you keep going?
So there's something, first of all, just, I think I'm hardwired anyways to like be very obstinate about quitting. Again, greens were known as very loyal, and I will say that is me. Like when I decide to do something, if you have greens on your team or greens in your potentials, like when we actually decide to do something, it's really hard. Sometimes it's in a bad way, but sometimes it's a good way to get us to stop. And so I was just like, and honestly, I never once imagined that I would quit. And I know that sounds crazy, you guys, but I don't remember one day other than like right after my divorce, I had a minute like, okay, so is this what I'm going to be doing or what am I doing? Because everything has shifted literally like 180 degrees in my life. But I never imagined that. And I think if you ask me why I feel that way, just from an emotional perspective, or why I felt that way rather, during the harder times, the business was the thing that gave me hope. It's the thing that gave me friends, and it's the things that gave me confidence. Three things that I did not have before I started this business, you know, and I needed all three of those things to be able to make some tough choices, to be smarter, to grow up. And so everybody's going to be in a different place. But one of the things that I always tell my team is, you know, adversity sharpens what you should be looking at this business for. When you have adversity in your life, lean into the business. Don't walk away, because so many people, when stuff is going on around them, let this fall to the lowest of the priority and walk further away. But when in reality, I'm not saying the business fixes everything, but it has so many elements that can help you rebuild your personal self, you know, beyond just financial. And so I always say, guys, lean into your business. And the fact is, Chrissy, that when life gets tough for me, it still gets tough because, you know, I've got custody issues and all sorts of stuff that still happen. But I know that when somebody walks away from my team that I really thought was going to be huge on my chart, or personally I'm dealing with something with my family, or my dad's been battling health issues the last year, I know that, no, I need to sharpen and work harder to focus on my business, because it's probably going to help, not hurt. And it's going to make me feel better, not worse. And usually when you walk away, you're just going to feel worse, because you're like, what? I've just seen it so many times.
Now I have nothing.
Yeah. People are in momentum, and then something happens, and so they stop their business. But then they're like, well, why did I walk away from my business? Now I feel horrible when they look back at it a couple months. So that's kind of a short answer too. Well, it's not short. I'm never short. I'm sorry, I talk a lot. But that's what I would say, as well, as lean into your business when things are hard, because it can really, really help you emotionally and financially.
I just love that you said that, because you really put it into words why we say, like, you guys, here you get personal development, you get friendship, you get, of course everybody starts for the money, right? But you get the friendship, you get the support, you get your personal development. Like, it changes everything. So this is the easiest thing to let go of, because it's optional, right? If things happen to you, if you're going through divorce, if you're working, you know, custody, if you have a bad marriage, whatever it is, you guys, at the end of the day, like, you can't choose that, but you get to choose this. So sometimes that's the reason why we let go of it, but that's exactly the reason why we should lean into it. I love your words on that. So someone asked, and I'll just kind of answer like really quick, what green is, because you keep saying my green, my
Sorry.
green. I know, it's okay, it's okay. And we don't talk about it too much, but you guys, like, there's the color personalities, and you can kind of explain what that means so that they know, like, when they're talking to people, what exactly that means, if you want.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, you know, every team's different. We use them, um, I'd say pretty frequently. So there's different scales and different personality tests and all that, but the color personalities there's 4 colors. And if you just Google it, you can kind of look into this. But there's red is kind of that dominant go-getter, goal-oriented person. Green is analytical, logical, like I said, loyal. We can also be hard to move. We get stuck on things. Yellow is a giver, a caretaker, very kind to people, and is motivated more by helping others and serving people. And then the last one is blue, and those are your kind of extroverts, social butterflies. Maybe hard to be disciplined, but if it's fun, they're 100% in. And so all of those are generalizations, and there's a lot more. But I think why I say my color so much is because I am a color that a lot of people think is not a color of success. So I'm maybe a little bit defensive of it, Chrissy, because I am so analytical. And there have been times where if I've not seen the path or not seen the vision, it's slowed me down. But I've overcome it through personal development and stuff. So that's kind of why I talk about it a lot, because there's a lot of people who don't know tons of very analytical greenish people that have
Right.
gotten into the top 40. So
You know what though? I appreciate it so much, and I appreciate you sharing your background with us, because sometimes those people are what they are intimidating. Those are the people we are intimidated by, because you know what? I can't say I went to Harvard. I can't say that I'm, this or I'm that. So I could have fear of reaching out to you because you could come at me with this or with that. But what I want you guys to know is exactly what she said. You never know what is behind that screen. Like, you just never know. And could you imagine if, there was this person that you were like, oh, they would never want this business. They would never need this business. And then next thing you know, they sign up with somebody else and they go top 30 income earner, like, could you imagine? And it's because you prejudged. We can't do it, you guys. We can't do it. Everybody deserves this opportunity. It's not our job to decide if it's for them or if it's not for them. It's our job to just ask. That's it. It's our job to ask. Be the first person to ask and the last person to ask. Okay, so if you guys want to put questions in here for her, go ahead and do that. So you are all about the events, which I think is so cool, because if you're so green and red, events, you would think like that wouldn't be it. So you're just like the color of the rainbow now. But how are you growing with events when obviously we can? And then how are you growing right now without events when you can't?
yeah. So I mean, right now, I've just been doing the company's been talking about. I've done the host to post train. I mean, host to post has helped me get triple and prez as well. So I'm just going back and tripling down on that until we can build belly to belly. I mean, literally right now, I just moved to Florida, like I said. So I'm literally like blitzing the post office worker because that's the only people I see. I'm like, and listen, I got her Facebook. We're Facebook friends now. I mean, I'm still blitzing when I can, but no. So so the way I ended up building you guys is, I think it was a lot. I think that because I was so lonely when I started, again, I didn't join for that, but I really realized that I loved having the connection to other women, and my marriage was so bad, like I needed something positive. And so a lot of the reasons why I think I developed more in a belly, I did social media consistently, you guys, but the reason why I think I loved belly to belly so much was that it gave me those connections to other women, and I could have that time where it was really about like that, filling each other's cup up basically. And the other thing is, again, while, parties, people think that you need to be kind of super outgoing and stuff. And I'm not necessarily that way, but I love teaching and coaching. So a lot of even just doing a party triggers my teaching and coaching gene. I'm just and my problem solving. Like I have a problem solving love, or love of problem solving. So like, listening to people's stories, what their issues are, blah, blah, blah. So, events aren't only for these huge social butterflies that, all that kind of dominate the social landscape. So the way I started was I had just local girls join, and some of them want to do parties, and I just realized I liked it. But even more than that, I realized that I could teach duplication. I could teach skills, them watching me talk to their friends and family a lot more effectively that way than virtually. Now, back then, we didn't do like we do now with all the Zooms and everything. Like, there's so much better consistency in terms of how people communicate virtually the last couple of years. But back then, it wasn't like that. And so, really did a ton of parties because that was my way to get to know my distributors and create that duplication, that vision. A lot of it is for vision casting purposes. So going to somebody's house, they're 3 weeks in, they're so nervous, their friends and family are there, and you're just walking through all the products. And then after the party, you just quietly look at them and said, "You did great. I believe in you. This is like, you're meant to be here. This is going to be awesome. I can't wait to work with you." That's just that vision casting, that connection that you can't do virtually the same way. And so that created a lot of loyalty, a lot of momentum right in Maine. And this state of 1.3 million people, a third of the size of the borough of Brooklyn in New York City, ended up with, 5 VIPs and something like, I think we had like 25 diamonds in the last year and a half, 2 years. So, and that's just because of that local tie. And so it does work to create that community and the duplication.
I love that. And you know what? It's just fun. Like, as much as some of us are like, oh, I don't like people that much, like, we all need the human connection sometime. And obviously, right now, that's not really an option, but it is so much fun when it is an option. And like, you just really can get to know people. And I feel like that solidifies the relationships with your potentials, with your new team members. And that really grows your business more too. Okay. So, if there, and there's a lot of newbies on here, and I know these questions are coming a lot from them. So if there are times when you are not seeing a lot of volume, what do you do? Do you go live, message more people, hype yourself up, etc.?
So first of all, I make sure that on my timeline that I'm representing myself well. So that's the first thing I do is I just want to make sure, like I call it branding, is my branding right? So, am I being a true product of the product, or am I putting up lazy posts, that may be just like, who next 5 people who comment can get 40% off for TFX, like something that's not personal. So that then I double down on being product of the product and really sharing those stories. And then beyond that, you guys, what I've just really have leaned in social media anyways, I've really leaned on host to post. So I know that if that's not, if I'm not getting what I want, I need to do more host to post requests, and or I need to really work on my network development, meaning just need to have new fresh blood in it. The biggest thing is that I found, you guys, is that when you're new, and trust me, I understand this is true of all my newbies. It was true of when I started in a lot of respects. Like, you don't understand how many people you really should be writing. Should it be 1,000 a day? Should it be 2 a day? And so a lot of times, because also there's so many nerves, you're just underwriting, you're under messaging, you're under connecting.
Underperforming. It's fine. We can call. I'm just kidding.
What?
I said underperforming. It's fine. We can call.
Well, underperform, but just like not talking to enough people.
Not
My biggest point is, it's just like, if you're not connecting with what's happening, then just look at your numbers, and you just need to get probably a little bit bigger in your numbers, and make sure that what you're doing is genuine to you and who you are and what you like. If you're sincere and excited, and then you're talking to enough people, things are going to happen. Sorry, Chrissy, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. And I love that you added that into it, because, if you're sincere, you're excited, that is the secret to this business. The secret to this business is that it doesn't matter how old you are, what you look like, anything like that. It matters if you yourself are being yourself and you're being excited with that self. Like, it really is, that attracts more people because they can tell, and so I've had people say, like, thanks for just being you and showing that, anyone can do it. And I'm like, well, what does that mean? But, I got the kids, I got the mess, I got the this. And, you guys, if you're just genuine, people will be attracted to that, and they want the products, right? Everybody wants results, but they are only going to buy it if they see that, like, hey, you're a real person. Like, I'm going to buy from you, So I love that so much. Okay. So this is kind of answered with host to post, but any tips for newbies who don't have a good network? What would you do besides host to post?
And there's definitely people that come onto my team that are like that. So I think that, in those cases, and then you just took away host post, but a host post would be what I would say. But I think you just need to aggressively add friends, and you need to aggressively interact as those people come in, and then you need to have really, really good posts, and go live and all that stuff. So what I mean by good posts, again, I mean product of the product posts. Maybe you don't have, if you're on your second day, you don't have your coffee samples yet, or your auto ship hasn't run. But as soon as you have stuff in hand, guys, it's going to empower you to reach those people that you have. Now, again, I didn't have a good network at all, and we didn't have host to post when I started. The only thing that I did was, like I said, I had a chart out, so I knew where I wanted to go, and I just wrote like everybody. And that's the biggest thing that I can say is, for sure, make sure you're taking that action that's going to tie to what your goal is. If you don't have a good network. The only other thing that has worked beautifully for me, and I'm sure a lot of people have heard it before, but not the newbies, is using your Facebook groups that you're in related to your real life. So, for example, when I joined, Camby, my son, was a toddler, and I was in this main toddler moms group with over 3,000 people. And I realized that, wow, okay, well, the story that is my life right now is being a working toddler mom. And so I knew that I would connect to those people. It took me a minute to realize that, but I started adding people from that group. Again, I did not post in that group, but I started adding people from that group. Again, there was nobody really building right then out of that area. So as I slowly trickled them in and I got better and more confident, I was starting to pitch them. Some of them have been watching me for months. And in 2016, most of my rubies and above were actually from that group. And so that's another thing that really served me well early on, was just connecting to people in Facebook groups where I had something in common, so it could be something completely different. It could be, but if you're in a group for your kid's school, or a hobby that you have, or your local town. So I also did a lot in my local town group where it had thousands of people. Again, I'm not posting in there, but I'm connecting and then friend requesting. People are going to be much more comfortable with someone that has something in common with them. So I think that would be the other thing I would say is, don't just, friend request willy-nilly, but try to think about how you can bring people into your network who are going to quickly relate to you.
I love that. Okay. So just so you guys know, if you do not know what host to post is and you're on here, it's that video I did in the team page, and literally it's basically, so me, we're doing a giveaway for it. And so it is getting an entrance into the giveaway by posting a business, product, or host to post for you. So when I say this is the ultimate way to grow your network, guys, the reason for that is because these people are going to automatically add you on social media for a couple reasons. Number one, they're going to be commenting on the post that someone did for you. So you're going to say, I'm going to message you. So automatically they're going to accept your friend request. Boom, boom, boom. People are going to be accepting your friend requests all over the place. And then what we've been doing too is host to post of host to post. So if you have 100 Facebook friends, yeah, you're not going to blow it up with 1 million people posting about the TFX or the coffee for you. However, have a few people a day host to post the giveaway, right? So it says, my friend Christy is doing a giveaway for her team, comment an emoji below. You have those people comment or post for you the product or the business one, okay? So that is just massively, you guys, massively growing your network. If there's something that you have heard over and over and over and over that's working for everyone, you should be doing it. And right now, that's host to post. Right now, if you're not getting at least 10 up a day, you are shooting yourself in the foot, because it allows you, just like how Mira said, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to talk over you. I just want to make sure they understand the massive numbers, you guys. Just like how Mira was saying, it's numbers, okay? And if you can get your numbers high enough, you will ultimately sign as many people as you need to. So for example, at the end of the last month, I needed X amount of BV in literally 48 hours, and I needed to sign it, okay? Because it was my responsibility, my promotion. There was a certain amount that I needed to sign. So what did I do? I got out more and more and more host to post. If I can talk to enough people, I know that a certain percent of them will sign up as customers or will sign up as distributors. It is just numbers, you guys. And so if you are like, I don't know host to post, I don't get it, ask your enroller. If you're like, I'm confused by it, it's too much work, I don't know this, I don't know that, then you don't want to be successful that much, because it is very freaking easy. It's very copy and paste. It's very simple, but you do need to just do it. And it's not sending out 20 messages. It's getting a certain amount of people to post for you. You need your post in other people's newsfeed. Okay, so someone asked tips on managing your time in a stay-at-home environment. So regardless of that, I mean, you were working a corporate job where you couldn't obviously work this business throughout it, and you were, you know, obviously stressed out about money financially at home. You were a mom and a wife. So how do you manage that? Oh, wait. You're muted. Hold on. Okay, there you go.
All right.
I was like, wait, she got to share the good stuff.
I can't talk. I just said the best nugget ever. You guys, no, I'm kidding. So no, I mean, I think that, so, you just have to decide when that time's going to be. I'm a very, like, I need a routine. Like, I just need it. So and I know, Christy, when I interviewed you for my team, like, you're a little bit different than me, but I know I need a routine. And, so for me, I know when Cammie goes to bed, I'm going to have that clarity. When I was married, I just said to my husband, I said, I need to work this business. And every marriage is different, but we were in a situation where I could just say that and, like, sit in front of the TV and work. And so I knew that I had to accomplish a certain amount every day. And I had that number in my head from almost the first day, the first week, because I read the comp plan. So, and then got the charts out. And so my tip to you guys is you've got to make a kind of a decision of when that time's going to be. If you are like me and need a routine. Now, I've got some people like this on my team. I feel like Christy's this way. Some of you can just do things on the fly, or it's so integrated. I'm not that way. Like, if Cammie's talking to me, I really struggle with, like, focusing on the business. So, I time management wise, I think for me, it's like, you've got to decide the business is important enough that you're going to do it every day. And I never took a day off, guys. Never. I had no guarantee of success. I never had any idea that anything like that has happened and would happen, but I never took a day off. Why? I think because I had been in business. I was in my job in business, my real job. And I understood you can never close the doors of your business. And, it's not a situation where I have employees and so they can be open while I'm off taking a vacation. No, you are your only business owner. So I worked every day, and I did it some days only for 35, 45 minutes that during that early time, but I worked my business every day. So I was always present on social media, always talking to people that were lined up to talk to. I think now with the COVID, again, everybody's situation is so different, but I'll just tell you straight up, the momentum that's going on right now, if you have to sleep a little bit less, or maybe spend a little bit less time with your significant other, and that's obviously a conversation you have to have with them. You can't just decide, but it is so worth it, because the money on the table right now, with not just the bonuses, but just the overall momentum with way volume is going. Christy, you asked me to talk about volume. My team, we're not ambassador yet. We're not at 250. And yet last month we went up 70,000 BV. And that's a lot. Okay. We went up 70%. So, just crazy. So, we'll go up probably even more this month. So, it just, take advantage. Even if you sleep a little bit less, it's so worth it to sleep 30, 45 minutes less right now, you guys, if it can really start momentum to change your family. What I tell my team is, in seasons like this, it's not just about the time that you put in, or, just the little drips and drabs. What's going on right now is that if you run really, really hard for 90 to 120 days, you will find your entire life change, because what happens is you level up to a whole nother level that is not the same as when you're just kind of poking around and walking, or jogging. If you literally sprint for 90, 100 days, you may wake up like I did in my 4th month and you're freaking diamond. You have no idea how you got there. So just know that this is one of those seasons. And so it's almost just like getting to work, figuring it out. If you're routine like me, build the routine. If you don't need a routine, just figure out what you wanted, what your non-negotiables are for that day and get it done. I don't even know if I answered your question, Christy.
No,
But.
I love that, because you know what? Everybody's looking for the perfect freaking answer. And I'm like, figure out what you need to do in the day and don't go to sleep until it's freaking done. That is what it's about, you guys, because some of you, you're like, Mira, give me the perfect day for my busy life, for my hard life, for my this, for my that. You guys, like, it's not like that. It's literally the sheer fact of, and I love how you said that too. You said that, like, you didn't even give us up that much sleep, like, but you just didn't stop until you had the things done each day that you needed to do. You guys, like, the vision, I don't think you guys understand what she's speaking right now. Like, the vision is real. The vision is real. And when she says a new level, it means that you're going to wake up and you're going to have this, in 90 to 120 days, you're going to have a completely different income with a different amount of commas in your paycheck, with a different amount of zeros in your paycheck. Like, you just have to go all in, no excuses. And it has to be a vision so large and an amount of just, you're just sprinting so hard that nothing else can, slow you down. Because I saw someone say, well, I'm afraid to go double because I don't want to lose diamond. I'm like, what the heck does that even mean? You're like, that doesn't even make any sense to me. Like,
Well, and and I mean, again, as a greed, I can understand, because sometimes I'll be like, but when it slows down, guys, don't think that way, because your job right now is to maximize your paycheck for May. And I've trained my green that gets in the way. And what about December, 7 months from now? And I'm like, no. My job is to make the most amount of money today, this week, and this month, running as fast as I can. And the higher that I level up, when there might be I slip or something slips, it's just going to be at a higher level of slip. Okay, as opposed to slipping down to diamond, maybe you slip down to double. I don't know. Maybe you don't ever slip down at all. But don't let that
Mira,
slow you down, because
it's like slowing down on me.
What?
The Wi-Fi is slowing down on me.
Oh God.
Oh wait, you're back now. Okay. Oh my gosh. You guys, it is the freaking truth. Oh my gosh, that is amazing. Because you know what? Like, what she just said is everything. Focus on what you're doing now and go so freaking hard. This is a thing. I've seen runs in my business, but I've never seen a run like this. I was telling them earlier today that, and if you guys didn't see the live video I did on the team page, but literally we are at the amount of BB. Okay, so let me regroup my thoughts. So Aaron took reports, okay? We signed 3 times the amount of customers in April than we've ever signed in any month before. Not the month I went ambassador, not last year when we were number 3, nothing. 3 times the amount, you guys. That is like, if that doesn't tell you freaking momentum, 3 times the amount of customers than an ambassador diamond team was already bringing in, like, no. Like, you have to run. You have to run. It can't be, this is the thing, you guys. Like, you have to run so fast that you can't even have a negative thought in your head. You run so fast that you can't even question what you're doing. You're just doing it. You're going so hard that you are just freaking making it happen. And Mira, I feel like you're the perfect example of that, because I've never heard one negative thing out of your voice. I've never heard you like slow down or stop or anything like that. Like, you're just like, go, 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 go. And I love it. And it's like, and you're totally going ambassador, you guys. Did you hear what she said? You said 75,000 volume, right?
Yeah, 70. Yes, yes.
70. So 70,000 volume, you guys, just her team brought in. Okay. If that doesn't 70, I don't even know how many LCs that 25 BV that is.
A million.
Right. Okay. Let's just say her amount of loyal customers average 60. That's 1,250 loyal customers. If she can bring in with her team 1,250 loyal customers, why the heck can't you bring in, you know, the 50 you need or the 100 you need for your promotion? You guys, like, people are signing up all over the place. The company is setting up the perfect system for us. Host to post, loyal customer promotion. They are setting it up perfect. Take freaking advantage of it. Every single person I'm signing up with, I mean, I'm talking to through host to post, is either becoming a customer immediately or giving me a date for when they get paid, because this deal is so freaking good. Like, they just can't say no. And I'm just like obsessed with, man, they have just set us up so perfectly for success. And you guys, this is the last month. This is the last month for those bonuses. If you didn't sign up, you know, within your first 90 days, like, you guys have to just go freaking crazy. Okay. So last thing I'll share, or I'll ask you, so we know distributors are important. So you guys are, what she was saying with the fast start bonuses, every time you enroll a new distributor and they have their first 6 customers in their first 30 days, you get a $150 cash bonus. Those are paid out weekly, you guys. If you sign 3 of those, literally that's $450 a month, monthly, just for bringing in 3 distributors and coaching them to get their first 6 customers. That is nothing. That is nothing. It's all about how you see things. So what are your biggest tips for bringing in distributors? Are you a mass enroller? Are you a 3 to 5 a month? Like, and what do you do to bring those people in?
Yeah. So what I do now, I do want to talk about what I did when I joined,
Yes.
because that would probably help a lot of your newbies too. But right, obviously, guys, I know that whether you're new or not, it, storytelling is and telling your story and storytelling is your most potent weapon. And I really preach to my team, we got to get the branding right, right? That's attraction marketing. And when I say branding, I don't mean that in a jaded way, guys, but you are a brand. The second that you sign up, you are brand whoever, brand Mira, brand Christy, brand whoever. And so a lot of it is just storytelling, storytelling, storytelling. So just, obviously now I have a big story, but I didn't when I started. And so for me back then, I actually was so nervous about what people would think about me. Just to be completely honest, I want you guys to hear this, because I did sign a lot of distributors back then. I actually didn't post about it a lot. It took me about 7 or 8 months to start posting about the business consistently. Instead, though, I was messaging friends behind the scenes and saying, would you be open to talking to me about what I'm doing? If extra income would be of interest to you. And the thing was that, I didn't have a huge network, but when I sat and actually thought about it, okay, I had all these people I went to high school with. I had all these people I went to college with. I had all these people that I knew at least tangentially locally. And of course, back then, as even more so now, people needed extra money. People need extra money. So when I came to them and just, hey, would you be open to conversation privately, they would hear me out. And I got really good really fast at a 2-minute version of my story. Guys, I was a ruby, maybe less than a ruby, maybe emerald. I did not have I didn't even have a bonus or anything to talk about yet. And I would just get them on the phone and talk to them and give them 2 minutes of my story and say, this is why I joined. This is how it works. I'm loving it because of X, Y, and Z. And when I say how it works, what do I mean by that? Just real quick, guys. What I normally emphasize with people even today is that what I love about our business is, we don't have inventory. We don't have quotas. It's a really simple business where we're talking to people, and once they're interested, we get them signed up on our website. We get the commissions, but the company does all the logistics. And I just really keep it around that, because those are some of the triggers that people care about. So I did a lot just in private conversations, to be honest with you, Christy, not in posting back then. But with my newbies, I train them quite a bit to tell their story. So what do you talk about early on? What gratitude. So gratefulness. Okay. So once somebody gets their first 4 or 5 customers, we have what we call gratitude posts. So we have people do that just talks about how grateful they are for the customers so far, all the support from the leadership, the training, and just really come at it with that attitude, because you're basically bragging. I call it a humble brag, right? You're bragging, but you're able to do it through, really talking about what you're grateful for. And so people can see that you're being successful without you being like, hey, I'm successful. And then from there, it's a lot of what's your why, telling your why story. The lifestyle post. So lifestyle posts, I know a lot of you guys probably don't even know what that means, but it's just being able to talk about being able to work from home and make money from home, on your own schedule. It's about, as you get your first paycheck, that first grocery bill that you're able to pay, or utility bill, or maybe it's gas, whatever it is. So it's really talking about kind of what the money's doing for you, and the lifestyle work of the business. So I still, to this now, I do distributor host to post, so that's the biggest new thing I do. But largely, I still to this day combine storytelling slash attraction marketing with messaging. And my goal every month is to sign 15 distributors, because you asked that. There are months that I sign 6, and there are months that I sign 25, when they have big promotions and stuff like that. But what I always just preach is, you just constantly want to be adding to your list, because after 5 years, I'm sure Christy has seen this over and over again. I can't even tell you how many people took up to a year or even more to join since I planted the seed. So the other thing I'll say on parting this is that when you're new, it's nerve-wracking, because you're planting seeds, but you may not see like that they're going to sprout. But I just promise you, if you do not stop and you're consistent and you're out there every day, so they see that you're somebody that they want to follow and that can be a good support system for them, they will jump in. It will happen. People will. And so it's a lot of seed planting, and then people are ready when they're ready.
I love that so much. And you know what? Everything you said is like gold, you guys, because I really want you guys to be taking notes, because literally, like, she just gave you like 100 post ideas, first of all, for a brand new distributor that's going to attract people. And I'm literally going to implement that. My girls, like a gratitude post when they get their first like 4 or 5 customers. That's so awesome. Like, because it's a good way of saying like, I did it. I'm doing it. Like, you can do it too. So I love that so much. Okay. So there's something I want to share with you guys, what she just said too. Um, there is going to be a point in your business where you really realize that new distributors is the only thing that's going to keep you growing. Some of you guys, you're so focused. I never see you post about the business. I never see you message about the business. I never see the business opportunity on your stories. But I'm going to share something the difference is I can see someone bringing in 10, 20 customers a month, and they're chasing their tail. And as soon as they bring in 2 to 3 distributors and teach them to bring in 6 customers, they're ahead of the game. They promote. It's easy. It's smooth. It's fun. And some of you guys, you're holding on to these people that don't want it. You're just like suffocating them. They're suffocating you. They don't want to be here. Let them go. They don't want to be here. You don't want them here. Let them go. That letting them go. And I love what Pam says. She always says, that you got to break up with your boyfriend to find your husband, and like, once you let them go, that is when God is going to put the right people into your space. But you got to let those other people go. Like it, and I'm not saying I ever cut anybody off, but I am saying that I'm always bringing in new distributors. Always. I'm always looking for the person who is going to catch the vision. And I never set a time limit on their vision. Right. So like, they might get it in the first week. I have some girls that get it in the first week, and I remember I didn't get it. It took me like 3 months to get it. It took me 3 months, you guys, to sign my first customer and my first distributor. And I think we do so good at recognizing people now and recognition in this business that it can get very easy to compare. So it's like a blessing and a curse. I didn't have anyone to compare to because I didn't see anyone being recognized. But there are people much faster than me. It took me 3 months to sign my first customer, my first distributor, you guys. You need to just stop comparing yourself. You need to stop, deciding how long it's going to take you to get to Ambassador Diamond, and just go Ruby, just go Emerald, just go Diamond. And then the next thing is double, and you're not even gonna know what you just did. Like, just like what Mira said, but like, you just can't do it. You have to just focus on your own business, you guys. And then I love what she said too, because I think there's a magic in the people that wait, the people that watch you secretly. And there's people watching every single one of you guys secretly right now. And they're those red personalities. They're the people looking around and saying, hey, is she going to do it? Is she going to make it happen? And then as soon as they see you making that real money, that's when they jump in. And those are going to be your runners, you guys. And that's where the magic happens. Like, and just so you guys know, you make more money if you sign your runners after diamond. But again, I was not a runner. Somebody counted me out. I was a 400 leg. I was on someone's diamond chart just as a 400 bucks. I didn't sign anyone my first 3 months, you guys, anyone. I just ran my auto ship and sold reps, and that's it. So don't count anyone out, but don't wait for anyone. They didn't wait for me. They did not wait for me, but I showed up. You know what I mean? Okay, so somebody asked, what if you don't go diamond in 90 days? Well, then you go diamond in 120 days. If you don't go diamond in 120 days, you go to the next month. You guys, like, this business is so simple, but like, you gotta just stop overthinking it. If you don't go diamond in 90 days, well, go diamond after that. If you don't go diamond after that, go diamond after that. Like, you don't change your goal, you change the time frame. So is there anything that you just feel like is so amazing that everyone needs to hear? Because you're amazing.
What I was just thinking when you were saying that is that what people don't realize is that there's no reason that you would know this, but when I went triple diamond, so again, it took me 3.5 years to go triple diamond. That's a year more than the average triple. Didn't worry about it. It was my time. There was no bonus. And guys, I gave myself like a $6,000 raise in 1 month. So I think the biggest thing I would say is, whatever time it takes, if it takes you 2 years to go diamond, you'll never regret once you're diamond those 2 years. I never look back and like, shoot, why didn't I promote when there was a bonus? Or, oh man, it took me an extra year than the average person. I had to go on my journey to become a person worthy of being a leader of a VIP team, to be honest. And so some of that was just necessary growth and getting through some stuff in my life. And so just know that, just don't give up on your dream. Like she just said, don't give up on your dream, and don't worry about what you're going to feel like if you hit something and it's a little bit later than you wanted. Because I will just tell you straight up that almost every single human being in this business has hit something multiple times later than they wanted. It's just, that's the way it is. But once you're there, you do not regret a thing. So, if you could make $2,000 a month, after 24 months, do you know what that money does to your life? It changes it completely. So just keep going. Create standards and expectations for yourself. If I cannot say enough about having your chart out, okay? Know exactly whether that's brand new and getting your Ruby chart out or whatever. But anyways, that's kind of what I'd end on.
I love that. And you guys, what she was saying was for last month. And the reason I say that is because up to this far, however you've gotten is great. But you know what? We are in momentum. So take advantage of it. You're not allowed to take your time right now because you're going to regret it. And everyone is going to be going diamond and double and triple and presidential and ambassador around you. You're like, wait, what happened? But it's because you didn't put your foot on the freaking gas, you guys. Okay. So there is somebody who asked, like, what's the best host of posts that's working for you? We have some that are working great, but just a really quick last question.
I do really simple weight loss for LCs. So who wants to lose 10 to 20 pounds or whatever, something like that in the next 90 days. Just a simple question like that. And DT, obviously we're tweaking it with the new compliance stuff, but just about who wants to earn extra income on their phone. Really simple, no magic in it. It's just the amount that you're doing it.
Yes, it's numbers, you guys. I know that for me, if I do 5 a day, none of them might get any comments or likes, and you're like, oh, it's not working. But it's just like that meme or whatever it is that has the hammer, and he's going and the diamonds are right there, and then there's the other guy, and he's like, he keeps going and he's like, oh, it's not working. And so he turns back and he was right there. Oh my gosh, it's this business. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Mira. You're freaking awesome. And I cannot wait to see you go ambassador freaking diamond, you guys. You are
amazing. Thank you guys so much. It was so fun.
Yeah, it was fun. You're awesome. Okay. All right. Thank you guys. And we'll see you later. Bye.